Okay, here's a quick little intro refresher for Excel. I have other videos that go into the different aspects. So we're going to look at entering data and making data tables. So there's a lot of different options in Excel, and you want to slowly learn the format of it. But one of the most important things is that all the functions that work in here, so making graphs and linear fits, it only works if you are in a certain format. So if you open up a file and it's a CSV, common for us to import it from data we collect on the computers. So if you do all the work and you click save it, it'll pop up and warn you that you may lose functionality. So by habit, you always want to save it as Excel workbook. So you have all these different things that you can do, but the top one is the latest and greatest, and it supports all those functions you're doing. So um, what I normally do is just do a new one and copy and paste data into it. All right. So what I want to cover is just how to go to make nice quality looking data tables that you can use. So, uh, so let's start with that. So let's say that you have some data and you measured like different inches, and then you have the scale in centimeters and so on, 2.54. And so we can just manually enter data into it. But once you start to see a pattern there, you should use the functionality of Excel to do that. So we can see that this cell is equal to that cell plus one, and we can type it in a lot of different ways. I can click on the cell. So I can say here, and I want to say this equals, and then I can click here, or I can type it in the formula bar here, A15, and then plus one, and so on. All right. And so instead of typing it each time, you can fill down. The easiest way to do that is to see how that cursor changes when I'm at the bottom. We can see how it looks different. And we drag down, and now we have that pattern. And the problem is we have all these numbers, and we can't tell which one we typed and which one we use as a formula unless we look in that formula bar. You can go into view and do that. So as a guide, I like to just have like as many different starting points for all the calculations. So like in this one, everything is going to build off this one number. So that way when I copy and paste it, I change that one number and I have all the new calculations. So again, here I can calculate on my calculator and see it, but then I see the pattern, it's this. Okay, and then we'll just fill this down, and now we see a bunch of numbers, and so that's why just normal, you want to put in like college level description. What is that, the meaning of that data, and what are the units for it? And then we'll have volume in cubic centimeters. And then it'll cut these labels. And so the easiest way is you can drag over, or we can double click. Here I have this text that's formatting that. So I can move that out of the way, and then we can start to do this and adjust. And you could select it. We can come over here and format auto. So a lot of different ways to do things. Okay, and then how do we calculate the volume? And here it's that raised to the third. We get this, and we can fill down that formula, and now we have everything. Okay, so the last thing is, I mean, the information's there, but really to get to college level, we want to communicate. One thing by default, what it does, it puts text left formatted and numbers right formatted. And so normally you have to come back, select all the cells and center, and get something like this. All right, and then I like to kind of bold the header, put a border, dark border, and then here all something like this. There's a lot of different ways, but as you walk around, you see posters, you want to develop this skill to be able to communicate. And usually, and then we can drag it, we can see the formatting got shifted. We have this. And usually I like to use a little bit of color, just really, and then capital, all those kinds of editing just makes it look a lot better. Okay, and now the last thing to kind of show you is that here we look at the numbers, they make sense. Here it's kind of variability just for uniformity. Kind of think about like how many significant figures we want. And over here, whenever you do calculations, Excel goes crazy, all right? And so you want to clean this up. So since we could dictate it, we could have the numbers like this, but because we have varying orders, I usually would switch to scientific notation, and it gives us a much cleaner look for it. All right, and so now that you have this, we can copy this, and then we can paste this over here, and again have another copy, and we could change the number here too, and we'll see if we do that. Everything's referenced. All right, well, actually, let's make it 20. Everything is referenced off of it, so we don't have to do anything. And that's the real power of Excel, that copy and paste once you build up and you have the certain format. The last thing is, now when you paste this into your documents, in Word documents, it'll keep it active and keep that link. And so here, if I paste this over here and what I usually do is, so actually, because of where I'm at, I'm not able to see it, is I paste it as a picture. All right. So we come down here, paste as a picture. And so now, why? So so copy this and let's paste and paste special as a picture. And now what the thing is, it's locked. It won't change. So if I come and I change this number to 21, of course, everything would change. I didn't paste as a picture. Delete that out of there, but let's try that one more time. Copy. Oh, linked. I clicked the wrong thing. There. So now as I change this, now it won't change. It's all locked in there. All right. And so that's what I do on mine. Because if you paste it into a Word, it'll keep it active, and then maybe you make a change and stuff changes onto it. Okay.